Last game of the slate's probably the most damning for. I think this did the most damage to the conference. Definitely the most damage to an individual team who had postseason aspirations. Kansas State loses on the road to Houston. Came in multiple touchdown favorites. And a Houston team that just looks inspired under Coach Willie Fritz. I love where Houston's going. I think this time next year, if we look back on this loss, we'll be like, okay, that is what it is. Houston's, now a 6, 7, 8, 9 win team. Kansas State's also in that same boat, but it'll feel less damning than it does today. But without a doubt, this is disappointing, very disappointing for Kansas State.
Yeah, just a horrible loss for Kansas State. I mean, you'd think, look, you can't lose going forward, and they did. And I mean, the fact that they had, Brandon, a 2-possession lead going into the fourth quarter against a team that, we got to put bluntly, Houston, we've really praised what they're trying to build, but offensively they've struggled throughout chunks of the season. And their offense found a way to score 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And I mean, Houston's offense, Brandon, only had 232 total yards the entire game. Like, they didn't move the ball very well. And I'm not fully blaming Kansas State's defense either. I mean, Avery Johnson did have a couple of turnovers, and they were not good turnovers either. But considering Kansas State ran 23 more plays, the fact that it seemed like they had more control throughout at least 3 quarters. You go to the fourth quarter up by 9 against a team that you should beat. You'd think you'd take care of business, but they didn't. And now for Kansas State, Brandon, there still might be a light chance of getting the conference championship game, but in terms of at-large status for the college football playoff, it's dead. It is dead. There is no question about that.
Yeah, because I think, and we spent a good chunk of the show talking about Colorado possibly getting with 10 wins. Kansas State's not in that same boat. It feels silly because Kansas State did beat Colorado head-to-head, but when you really look, just think about how much buzz that Colorado team's going to have 10-2 at the end of the season. Kansas State can't get that much buzz, and it feels silly that a college football postseason tournament comes down to buzz, but that's where we're at. We're in election season. Buzz is everything. And then that's part of it. And I also got to say, it's disappointing for Kansas State, not just to lose to this Houston team that was projected to at least be in the barrel of the Big 12. They've overperformed that, granted. But boy, the overall performance, Avery Johnson wasn't very good. Couldn't get much going on the ground with DJ Giddens. And then, if you go into that game and say, all we have to do is not give up 14 points to the team that was shut out in 8 consecutive quarters earlier this season, we're going to win this football game. Or even if we do give up the 2 touchdowns, let's score, 1 touchdown. Let's go there. Couldn't do it, come up short. And Houston's not like an electric road environment, so it's not like you can really hang your hat on that. But I think this is immensely disappointing for Kansas State, but I do love to give Houston credit here. I love where they're going. I love Willie Fritz. And it's just a team that's playing together. It's a good team. They just don't have the athletes quite there yet. So I'm very up on Houston. Give me all that stock.
Yeah, I mean, Houston, they still have to clean up their offense. That's going to have to be something that they address the offseason. No one's going to fight that.
Sure.
But you know what, Brandon? The number one thing, you just keep winning and find wins in that win column. And that's what they were able to do in this situation. So a nice job by the Houston Cougars for getting that done. Seriously, great job by them for sure.
Love it.